Okay, so here we are in the 2024 Faulkner County Fair. The first class we had up was a Pee Wee Showmanship under Judge Jamie Gaskins. And you can see Doug here. He's never shown. He is 4 years old. And so I'm so proud of him. He didn't require me to be out there. He handled doll like a champion. So proud. I could not be any more proud. So right here you're going to see that Doug lines up. He does pretty well. Doll got a best of him, but he held it together and stood and didn't require my assistance. He's just going to end up being a champion in the ring when he gets older. He was so excited, you guys, to be able to show. And right here, Mr. Gaskins is going through and talking to them and asking them little questions, like probably how old their goat is or what their goat's name is. Now, there are adults out there with their kiddos, because these kids are ages 2 to up till 5, if they haven't had their 5th birthday yet. So, but Doug wanted to do this by himself, and I'm insanely proud because he did it all by himself. And he had a hold of Doll, and Doll was in the mindset of she wanted to do what she wanted, but she ended up just standing there for him because he did not let her walk all over him. And yeah. He just loves this goat so much. That's why he gave her a hug. He saw Mr. Gaskins get down, so he thought he had to get down too. And so he's just waiting his turn, looking at everything around. This is what I love about Pee-wees. Sorry, you guys. We're still at the fair, so I'm trying to edit Showmanship while we're taking rest time. But you'll see here in just a second, Mr. Gaskins will get up and move over and talk to Doug for a minute. And really, in Pee Wee's Showmanship, it's just the practice. So up until they turn, I think it's 9 or 10, they all get a blue ribbon. They all get trophies, but it's not serious. And so it's great practice, and he did so well. I'm so proud. All these little kids, I am so proud of every single one of these little kids. They did amazing. And just, you can watch them go. And I don't know what he's saying to this little girl. Mr. Gaskin's so soft-spoken, so unless he's on the microphone, it was hard to hear him ask or say anything, which is a good thing. So I'm going to hush up because he's going to talk about these little guys, and I'm going to let him do that because he's better off than I am. Come on, Dougie. Look what you got. Oh, no. Go. Okay, so here we have David and Fancy. Fancy. She was being a little rotten. I am probably going to just talk for a second, and because this took a lot longer. See how large of a class this is? This is kiddos 10 through 13, so 10 to 14. David is 11, so he is at the beginning of his intermediate stage. It might be 9 to 14. I'll have to check. So he is, towards the beginning of his intermediate stage. But he got her led around. He set her up. He's very knowledgeable. And he's doing good keeping an eye on the judge. Fancy is acting a fool. But you can see the judge move sides. David is fidgeting with her too much. I will tell, and I told him that. He fidgets a lot. But you can see some of these other goats. Not everybody wants to act right. And so the judge is pulling them up one by one. And I'm going to skip forward to when they pull up David's. Okay, so right here, what they're doing is he's talking to them, and he's having them maneuver their goats to see how they maneuver, if they just turn tightly or what they do. He should have pulled her up first and made a big circle, but he did okay. As you'll see at the end, he did okay. It wasn't the best, but he also was not the worst. And so he's now checking out how the kids are maneuvering. Are they fidgeting? Are they just... See, David fidgets too much. We've been working on it. He's doing better, but he does fidget too much. So we're going to move over here and let's see.
Stare at it.
He's taking another look at him. They walked around. So he's watching them. Now this isn't the final placing. See, this kid, his goat wasn't acting right. So he pulled her out, lined her back up, set her back up. He did a great job. That young man is a wonderful showman. Sorry.
Yeah, as long as you're not fussing with her, she does okay. He just likes to overfuss sometimes.
You can't see Mr. Yaskins, but he is kind of walking back and forth, seeing what the kids are doing, seeing if they're watching him. He's trying to make his decision. No, he's just standing there looking at him. He's starting to make his lineup. You'll see this change. You'll see it change. This is not his final lineup. And David knows it, so he's holding steady. And, he was very adamant that these top 3 showmen were his top 3. There was no doubt about it that these 3 were the top 3 for him. And later on, you might be able to hear him in the senior showmanship lineup. The little girl that's in the 4th position, amazing showman too. She could have competed with the seniors as well.
I'm watching your brother.
Very proud of all of these guys. They fantastic. This intermediate group, I've never seen a group of showmen like this. They are absolutely amazing. The senior group was great this year too.
Just a minute.
And it's impressive. And so what you'll see Mr. Gaskin's doing now, he's checking their hooves and their cleanliness. And so you'll watch. David helped me with Nancy, trim up her hooves and get her cleaned up. And before going in the ring, we made sure she was super clean. Hooves. And under the tail. The reason they check under the tail, when you clean them, they get cakey stuff under the tail. So you need to take a baby wipe and wipe under the behind.
Hold on.
To make sure they're
almost
clean.
done.
Part of showmanship is how you present your goat. Do you present them in a way
Down at the barn.
that is top notch? Are they clean? Are their hooves trimmed? Are they clipped nicely?
That's a bad word.
And quite honestly, it could have been a day that we didn't trim his.
The judge is
He
thinking you need to be quiet.
didn't trim her hooves well. But he had just trimmed her hooves, and we just touched them up that day.
So it just happened to fall in line right there. Because these top 3 showmen were so close. It came down to that. And he'll say that in the when he starts talking here in a minute. And I'm going to let him talk. They're going to take a final lap because he doesn't like them lined up. They want to be in a specific spot when he's talking. So they're going to take a final lap. And Mr. Gaskins will be speaking now. And as long as the 4-year-old isn't in the background causing havoc, I will let you guys listen to what he has to say.
Really nice group of junior showmen here today. I think when you kind of sort them out, my strongest competition lies between these 3 showmen here at the head of the line. I think they were pretty similar in knowledge, pretty similar in movement.
Stop.
We'll start at the head line on this young man, I think his name was Bo. He'll be our champion today. And it is for just the overall knowledge. He just gave to me straight from the start. He was knowledgeable about the breed standard. And for that, he'll be your champion today. I will commend this young man here standing in second. He probably had the cleanest goat, the most clean goat, and his toes were done, and for that, and his 10 points on the scorecard, and for that, he should be commended. This young lady here standing in third, also very knowledgeable about her goat. We talked about that top line on that goat, and some things she'd like to change, things she'd like to improve. After that, she'll be in our 3rd place spot. And as we go down into our 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place spot, 4 young ladies that did an excellent job today. They maintained a great attitude.
Where is it?
That's where we stand today.
Alright, so I don't know what happened to all my footage of senior showmanship. I don't know if I cut it because Doug was screaming over the top. But this is all I have before Judge Mr. Jamie Gaskins was speaking. So here you see Rachel showing Fancy. Her showmanship dough is actually doll. However, you'll see here in a second, Emily, one of our unified members in Valonia, was using doll. And you'll see her come around in just a second. What Rachel is doing, she is trying to move Fancy forward, but also try not to look unnatural about it. And she didn't quite get her moved up far enough, but she did make the attempt, which made me proud. Rachel did not want to do showmanship. She got talked into it. I don't know why. She didn't want to. But she didn't, and that's okay. But she ended up doing it. And so she's moving her goat up now. And Fancy's behaving a little bit better than she was for David, which is fine. It's actually a good thing. Small downfall here. She didn't switch over fast enough. But she did eventually. And now we're into the comments of the judge.
I talked to him about some maneuvers, some things they've done wrong already. So I won't get into that. But this is how I see it today. This young lady here at the headline, she's going to be your champion showman. She was more correctly in the right spot at the right time as we went around the ring. She was knowledgeable about her go. We'll follow that up with this young lady standing in second for the Nigerian. A young lady that has a very clean go. Maybe her brother had showed that earlier. So it's still clean. But she was knowledgeable, and there are some improvements that we made on knowledge. The knowledge of had this scorecard, I think we can all work on that. Young man here, he set his goat up probably the most correctly today, and for that he should be commended. We did talk about him walking behind the goat. We're not supposed to do that. But overall, if you look at this line,
You can throw it away on your way over
where
to
you
the
watch this
table.
line throughout the day, he probably had his